Ladies and gentlemen, the play's The Thing. With your host, Judy Sleed. Special guest, Parcher. Now here's Judy.
We did it again. Thank you, Lee. Welcome everybody to the Play's The Thing. And today I have a very nice playmate. Since the show is called The Play's The Thing, so I have to have somebody to play with. So, hi, Peter. It's so nice of you to come all the way from Manhattan.
Hi, Judith.
How did you get here?
I drove automobile. They do that in the 21st century, you know.
You drove. You didn't fly.
I didn't fly.
And you didn't walk.
And I didn't jog either.
Oh, good. Well, it is wonderful to see you, and you look so handsome. I usually see you in your swimming trunks near the beach, and now you're in a business suit.
Right. You look pretty spiffy too, Judith.
Yes. We usually see each other on the beach in the Hamptons.
Yep.
And now we're doing business.
Right.
And I see you didn't have any credentials under your name.
What kind of business were we doing? Monkey business?
Well, I always like to do monkey business, but we can't get paid for that.
Oh, no.
So what kind of a line are you in?
What you mean, what kind of...
What is your trade?
What kind of work do I do?
Yeah, for a living. What do you do for a living?
Right. I'm a trial lawyer. Do you know what that is?
A trial lawyer?
Right.
What is a trial lawyer?
Well, people or companies get in trouble, or they think somebody did the wrong thing, and I've got to go to the courtroom. In England, they would call it like a barrister.
Oh, a barrister, yes, I remember. Do you ever wear those wigs that...
No, they would laugh you out. This is New York. They would laugh you out of it. I was just trying to tell you what it was. No.
I could just picture you.
No.
And you've been doing this for quite some time.
I have. I don't know if that's flattery or
well,
what, but I have been doing it for
I'm trying to establish your experience,
right.
And you have tried many cases.
Right. I was admitted to practice law on St. Valentine's Day, which I always saw as a very good omen. And the reason I was the next day I was in the service. And so I was in a beautiful courtroom where they said you could be a lawyer. And I was very proud. My family was there. And before I knew it, I was in Fort Dix, New Jersey, getting a haircut and a uniform that didn't fit. And I sort of got a perspective that everybody puts their pants on the same way in the morning. But I've been doing it ever since.
Putting your pants on every morning.
And being a trial lawyer. I don't know how to do anything else.
Well, it's good that you know how to do that.
Yeah, I do.
So where are you from?
Well, I was born in Brownsville, in Brooklyn. Do you know what that is?
Brooklyn. My goodness, I wonder if anybody knows what Brooklyn is.
No, but Brownsville is a special part of Brooklyn.
Yeah, where is it?
Well, it's where Murder Incorporated came from.
Oh my!
And a lot of interesting people came there. But I wasn't raised there. I was raised in East Flatbush in Brooklyn.
I know Flatbush. I lived there at one time.
You know, and I haven't been. Although I was there the other night, I was at the Brooklyn Academy of Music to see Paul Simon sing his songs from the Cape Man. He's my friend. But I hadn't been back in Brooklyn in a long time. But I love the fact that I'm from Brooklyn, you know? There's something special about that, too.
It is. A lot of people.
Yeah.
And if we'd have a big audience, you would get a lot of claps. People would clap, hey, Brooklyn, Brooklyn.
Yeah, it stands for something.
And what school did you go to?
I went to high school. I went to Erasmus, which was in Brooklyn.
Of course, Erasmus. Everybody knows that.
Yeah. Is that right? Are you kidding me?
No,
No, because out here, when you come out to Eastern Long Island, you know, I'll sometimes wonder, I think people think that the beaches begin out here in Montauk Point. I don't think they understand that they begin in Brooklyn. You know,
yes.
They go all the way out to Montauk Point.
Well, you know, we are here.
So I don't know if they know Erasmus is what I'm trying to say.
We are here to set them straight.
Okay, so let's do that.
Yeah, okay.
Let's do that
It starts
now.
in Brooklyn.
Yep.
It starts in Brooklyn.
Right.
So you went to school, Erasmus High School.
And then I went to college on Long Island. I went to Hofstra.
Oh, my.
And
Hofstra, yes.
Yeah, I
That's
love
a
that.
very famous
Sorry,
college.
when I went there, it was a small little college, not a big university. Mm-hmm. And, they were wonderful to me. I was a poor boy, and my father had passed away. And they gave me, they let me work on the maintenance crew or deliver the papers. And they gave me a scholarship, I think for no other reason but that I couldn't afford to go to school.
Do you remember what paper you were delivering?
We delivered the Times. We delivered the New York Times. But
another paper boy
yeah.
up the ladder.
No, but I loved the friendliness of it. One of the things I love about out here in Amagansett, where I live, is there's that same friendliness. I hope we don't lose that as we, as time passes by. The business of saying hi to somebody and maybe looking out for your neighbor a little bit is a lovely thing.
It is. That's what I like about the Hamptons. Yeah. It is a close-knit community.
I was telling your director a story of my grandson Baxter played Little League baseball out here. And
you're talking about Lee Davis, my director.
Yeah. And he's a great guy. And I was telling him that there was a season when Baxter, for whatever the reason, he took 3 strikes. Whether they were actually strikes or not, I don't really know. But he didn't take the bat off his shoulders. And I was talking to him afterwards saying, you got to hit to win. You got to take a chance. Grandfather's supposed to do that for their grandsons, protect them and love them. And we went to a flea market, and I found a Mickey Mantle bat for like $1.25. I told him it's a good luck bat. And it turned out the next game he went out and hit a triple. And the reason I'm telling you the story, because you're talking about friendliness in Amagansett, when I was out here that weekend, I went to the store with Baxter, and people would come out of the stores, the townspeople say, Baxter, you got a hit. You took the bat off his shoulders. And it has that same spirit of people, caring about the kids, caring about each other, looking out for each other. Now, I love that. I just love that.
So you finished college.
I did.
And then you said you went into the service.
No, I went to law school. I went to law school.
Oh, I'm sorry. I skipped a little part.
That's okay.
Where did you go to law school?
I went to St. John's, which was in Brooklyn then.
You went back to Brooklyn. You just can't get away from Brooklyn. Do you have any relatives still there?
No more. They're all from there, but they're all gone. But I could tell you that they're here with me right now, even though you can't see them.
Oh, well, that's good.
And they say nice things about you too.
About me too.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. So you went to law school, then you went to the service, and then you became a lawyer.
Became a lawyer. Yeah.
And this is only a half-hour show. There's so many things I want to ask you.
That's okay.
But
I want to ask you some things too, but you're not supposed to do that on your show. Okay, another time. Okay.
About your cases, I'm sure you had a lot of interesting cases, but is there any one that you would like to mention that would interest me or our listeners?
I don't know how to answer that. I don't know if this is directly answering you, but when I was a young lawyer, I was very idealistic. It was the time of John Kennedy and Robert Kennedy, Martin Luther King.
Yeah.
And I always wanted to be a trial lawyer. I always wanted to be in the courtroom. And it turned out, and I'm not saying this to brag, it turned out that I'm pretty good at that. I'm not good at a lot of things. I don't even make my bed right in the morning, But I'm fortunate, that I have that. And I started out representing poor people accused of serious things, and I really thought that I was Don Quixote, and I really thought that what I did was the center of the world, and of course it's not the center of the world, not at all. And I had read somewhere about entertainment law, which at that time there was really no such thing, And what they basically said is that if you are a lawyer in that world, you either work with interesting people, or you have interesting cases, or sometimes you could even get an interesting fee. Because I was always about love and glory. Money wasn't it for me. But in the back of my mind, this was after John Kennedy was assassinated, Robert Kennedy was assassinated on the night my youngest daughter Nicole was born. Always felt lucky because it was like a great man died, but a beautiful little baby
Yes.
was born. She's my number 2 daughter. I call her my favorite youngest. Jolie, who lives out here, has a yoga studio, Mandala, in Amagansett. She's my favorite oldest. But I thought I'll go into the world of representing people like yourself, or the companies like, I don't know the name of the company, the television company that's sponsoring this, but of course I thought the people who communicate, write a book, have a TV show, create a movie, compose a song, write a play, they're people that are helping to change society, hopefully for the better. I know this sounds syrupy, but I didn't mean it in a syrupy. I didn't mean it in a syrupy way. You know, you could be a loving, kind person and still be a tough guy from Brooklyn. You know, the two aren't inconsistent. But I really thought that if I represent those kinds of people, I'll be doing something. Because when the Kennedy brothers were assassinated and Martin Luther King, my whole generation turned inward. You know, we found out we weren't so big, we weren't so tough. Maybe we weren't going to change the world, you know? Maybe not everybody thought we were the greatest, nicest, most decent people. And so that's what I did. I started to try cases for a lot of creative people in the companies. And after a while, if I were to say who it was, I guess it's a long way of answering your question. But I'm probably talking too much. They read like the who's who, you know, of everything, and it comes off, and then it comes off big shotty. But the fact is everybody puts their pants on the same way in the morning, and I honestly thought that I was participating in a process where I was being helpful to people.
Well, I'm sure you were.
Yeah, you know, and maybe I had a little bit of ego too, like. Maybe I like being the center of attention. Do you know what I mean?
Well, that goes with it.
I think it does. Maybe you know. I think maybe it does.
It doesn't hurt.
So I didn't tell you the names of any cases, but that felt like a big shotty.
Well, would you care to throw out 1 or 2 names?
Just like the names of the things.
Well, you don't have to. I just thought it would be interesting to tell the world, you know, who you helped.
Well.
Come along.
You know, there's just, and I'm not being a falsely modest. There's just so many, you know, represented like the Rolling Stones and Paul Simon and Bruce Springsteen and Billy Joel, you know, and then we had all kinds of cases, the Warhol case and Mike Tyson, and then we went on to just kept going, you know, the case against Woody Allen and the play Rent. And I'm forgetting a million of them. There were a million of them. And what it really was is no different than if you hung up I call it a shingle, you know, if you open an office in Eastern Long Island, then your clients would be the people from Eastern Long Island that got in the jam or thought somebody didn't do the right thing by them. So if you're in the entertainment communications world, it's a small world, you know? People get divorced, people get in a fight, people have an argument about a contract, somebody says somebody libeled somebody says he wrote it, somebody says she wrote it, somebody gets accused of a crime. And so it became that kind of practice, but for those kinds of people and in the companies.
And you got a name for yourself.
I did. I got that. But I didn't know I was working, you understand? I was just
But I noticed that
fun.
you're not doing this by yourself. Did you start by yourself, or you belong to a?
No, it was always my own. Not always. I started working with a bunch of men. I say older men. I don't like that word anymore. with a bunch of older men, and
Yes.
and they were good lawyers, though. And of course, now it's men and women, and that's a very good thing. You know, I better say that because I got my Joyce, who's my wife, and my two daughters. You know, got to be. Have to be.
You always talk about
Yeah,
your
yeah.
Joyce. You
Yeah,
never
my
just say
Joycey.
Joyce, my Joycey.
She's,
That's very sweet.
Yeah,
that
she's
you
the
are-
real deal.
you're
You know,
a
I
real
got a.
family guy.
Well, thank you. You know, I got some mischief in me, but she's very solid, very solid.
Yes.
But so it eventually became my firm. When I say mine, meaning, you know, maybe I was the older one or the better known one, and we did that for years. And it was just in recent years that everybody in the firm came over, and we started practice with a California firm that now has offices in New York. It's called Manatt, M-A-N-A-T-T. But one of the reasons I did that is in my world particularly, you know, you ever see the New Yorker magazine's map of the New Yorker's map of the world? And it'll be like, New York will be half the country in the map.
Oh.
And Florida will be huge. And then it'll be like LA and Frisco. And then it'll be Paris, you know? Almost like there's nothing in between or something. Well, in my world, Los Angeles, because of you know, the show business, and London. So I liked the idea of being part of a group of men and women who had offices
Globally.
there too. Because I was always have gun will travel. You know, you like that. You like to have people, you know, who you know working with you. You know,
Right.
yeah.
Do you watch those old TV shows?
Uh,
Have gone real travel?
No, I'd
and all
like
this?
to. I don't. What I watch ball games. I watch the ball games.
Oh, that's
and
good.
and the fights. That's what I watch on television.
Really, fights.
And I watch the debates. I'm very, very
You're gonna have
interested
to
in what's
watch
going
my
on.
show from now on.
Yeah.
The Plays, the Thing.
Yeah.
I will tell you what
I love
channel.
that name. I love the name. What time is it on? Well, I'll watch it. Of course I
Well,
watch it.
out here in the East End, I know Monday night at 8:30.
Yeah.
And it's on like 3 other times, but I don't remember what. And then I make a tape. Now it's a DVD. We changed. It became very modern. It used to be a VCR tape.
Right.
Now it's a DVD.
Right.
And I take it to Riverhead. That's up the island.
Right.
And then they show it there. And then I take a mini DV and I take it to Manhattan.
So are
And
you
in
like a
Manhattan-
multi-millionaire now?
And in Manhattan, you could see me on Tuesday nights at 5:30.
I'm gonna watch it.
It comes from Manhattan Cable, Manhattan Neighborhood Network. And all depends where you live in the city, what channel.
Well, I live in Greenwich Village.
You would have to find out where Manhattan Neighborhood Network, what channel it is.
Right. Right.
Tuesday nights at 5:30.
Oh, no. I could see where your show, Judith, to be a huge success, you know, because just now, you know, I didn't know what your show was really. I came because I like you a lot, you know, I mean, truly. But you know I do. But I could see where for anybody, it's just very easy talking to you. Do you know? Do you know?
That's the
It's a lovely,
consensus. That's a
yeah.
consensus.
No, well, it's a you know, when I said about me in the courtroom, it's the same thing. I'm not saying you don't work hard at it. I'm sure you do, but it seems very natural, and it's very nice.
Well, this is when I find out all the secrets my friends have.
Oh, I'm not telling any secrets.
Because when I just, you know, talk to them, I don't ask these kind of questions.
No.
So this is the time to find out. And you mentioned your wife. Where did you meet her?
Oh, Joyce, I was the best job I ever had, much better than being a trial lawyer. I worked at the beach clubs on what I guess we call now Western Long Island, in Nassau County. And I was a cabana boy.
Oh my gosh,
Oh,
that must have been such fun.
Oh, you have no idea. You have no idea.
What beach was it?
It was, you know what, it's called Nassau Beach now, but the beach clubs used to be quite a thing. Now I think it belongs to the county and residents of the various, you know, towns. I think draw a lottery for the cabanas or something. But at that time, it was quite the thing. And people would come from all over to get these cabanas on a beach, and we'd be tan and barefoot and playing basketball, and and I love the ocean. To me, the ocean's a way of life. Whatever spirituality I get from that. My mother was a lifeguard when we were kids, which was very unusual.
Who was a lifeguard?
My mother when we were kids.
I thought you said your mother.
Yeah, well, out in Brooklyn. But anyway, and Joyce worked as a waitress at the Lido Hotel. And some young roommates of hers fixed me up because they thought I was too parochial to go out with them. They thought they were people who were sophisticated. But Joyce was a country bumpkin. She was from Philadelphia and Pittsburgh by the steel mills and we're in West Virginia. So, I was pretty full of myself then, Played ball pretty good, whatever I did, And I went to pick her up at the Lido Hotel, which is where she was a waitress. And I must have been 5 minutes late or 2 minutes late. I have no idea to this day. And she came walking out. Somebody had to go and get her. They went and got her. And she came out cute as could be. You have no idea how cute she is. And she was a little chunky with a ponytail and a little bit of an overbite, And she was shaking her head in annoyance at me. My first introduction to Joyce, I've been married to her for 42 years. She's shaking her head. Shaking her head at me. And Cupid shot me in the heart, It was like, if I had any sense, I would have got away right there because she's still shaking her head, But
that's such a sweet story.
And she was my girl, and you could go on about that, She's still my girl, definitely.
Of course, as I said, I always, every time I see you talk about her.
Yeah, about Joyce. Yeah.
You always find something nice to say, which is very rare.
Yeah. Don't put her on your show, though. I could say.
And you mentioned one of your grandsons. I don't know which one of your grandsons. Do you remember right in this studio, I had a play reading?
Oh, I remember.
And you had your son-in-law, ex-son-in-law.
Right, true. No, but I still love him to pieces.
I know, but he was one of the readers.
Right, Drew.
And he was babysitting.
Right.
So all through the play reading,
I think you both.
Your two little grandsons were crawling around on the floor. And I have that tape, and it's so precious.
Oh, I'd love to see it.
You would have to see it, the way they're crawling around. I don't even know if people ever watched the tape, listen to the story, because they were crawling around. It's
I remember
so
Patrick
cute.
Patrick was
Patrick Cristiano, he directed it.
Right.
It was because of him I finally pulled it off to have a play reading.
Right, he's a great guy.
Because he had nothing to do because he got into a car accident. And that was at that time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, at that time. And he couldn't do this, he couldn't do that. So he figured, okay, let me do something easy. So he took that project on, for which I was very grateful for.
Right.
It was in this very studio.
Yeah, no,
it looks different.
I remember it. I remember feeling very proud of you. I also remember both boys. The other is Kai Diego. Kai Diego's the favorite youngest, the number 2 grandson, and Baxter's a couple of years older than him. But I remember one of them was running around, which is probably Kai, because he was too young then to. But the other one was paying very close attention.
Well, I have to look at it again. I just remember.
At least when I saw it, he was.
Yeah. Yes.
But they're both full of mischief, both of them.
Yeah, you have to see that because it's been a long time. You probably don't remember them when they did that.
Yeah, I do. I don't remember, but I do. Yeah.
So about all the case, I was going to ask you about all your cases and everything.
I always feel funny talking about the cases. I'll tell you why. Because it sounds a big shotty. And the thing about me is when I talk, I would tell you the bad. In other words, if you said something to me and it went badly, I would tell you. So if I tell you some of these cases and they went well, it sounds like I'm bragging or something like that.
You're good at it. You shouldn't be ashamed of it.
It's not a shame. It's just it doesn't.
It's just like when my son says that people think he's so good looking, he feels bad.
Yeah.
I said, well, you are good looking. Yeah. Why should you feel bad?
Yeah.
No, you mentioned something before we went on the air that somebody's going to make a documentary.
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
Or talking about it.
Talking about it. A fellow by the name of Tom Fontana.
Yes.
who's a very talented. You should meet him sometime.
Okay, let's have a cocktail party.
Yeah, no, you know, we could
Yeah,
we could
great. We could get together.
We could
on
get
the
together
beach.
without. We could get together
the
without.
beach.
Well, we'll do
Yeah,
whatever you
on
want.
the beach at your
Yeah.
house. You have a beautiful
Yeah.
house by the
Yeah.
beach.
Yeah. But anyway, so Tom Fontana, who's a very talented guy, that's why I said you should meet him, has an idea. Maybe the TV networks won't want it, or maybe they will. He seems to think that they will, where I tell the stories
Right.
of the cases, you know, maybe. But then I think his idea is to do a little more, maybe even get some of the people who were, you know, involved in the
Guest
case,
appearances.
and also maybe, you know, put background in it the way a talented producer
You need
will
something
do.
else, because I'm planning on doing something like that with my shows.
Oh, okay. I don't want to compete with you. Whatever.
It wouldn't be the same, trust me.
Yeah.
But you need more than just some
No,
pick
that's what
out
he-
segments.
I'm teasing you now. I was very disappointed to find out that I couldn't carry the whole
The
show
whole
by myself.
show.
Apparently, if I wanted to talk about, like, say, my case, you know, against Yoko Ono or something like that, apparently I can't understand it. But they would want the music of John Lennon, and they would want,
It's
Yoko,
so
who's a
true.
beautiful woman, and so on.
Yes.
Not just me talking. What a surprise!
Well, I want to thank you again for coming on my show. I had a great time,
You did?
great playtime, and I want to thank Bo and Lee and everybody.
Yeah.
And
Is Bo?
goodbye, everybody. I haven't been doing this lately, but this was my sign off, like saying goodbye. Want to say goodbye to the nice people? You want to wave?
You can't see him.
Yes, you can. You could just
I don't want to
wave.
wave like that, though. Maybe I'll
Why?
just.
I like that. This is the whole
Goodbye.
idea. Like that. I had a girlfriend who, this is why I did it. I went to Vegas with her, and
Love me in London, love me around the
put
world.
another one, and like 5 nickels, and then she said, bye.
And then she hit the jackpot.
No, she lost the budget. This was 5 nickels. She said, bye. She wouldn't play anymore.
I know